Hello everyone and welcome to 3D QuickBooks, and in this video we're going to take a look at this hard surface model and we're going to understand the philosophy on how to model something like this. So before we begin, there is something that I would really like to emphasize on, and it is going to be very simple. It is that do not focus on the software. Yes, I'm using Blender. You can come from any other software. It doesn't matter. Topology is topology. Topology is a universal concept when it comes to 3D. If a topology is bad, it's just plain bad, and you cannot blame it on the software. The only person responsible for it is the one who is modeling it. You do not need to use Booleans in order to determine perfect curves. You can see we're going to take a look at this model in its edit mode, and then you'll understand how everything just flows together. As you can see here, it is in perfect quads. Obviously I am using edge loops to tighten up the edges, but you can see there are massive empty spaces here, there's massive empty space there, and obviously here as well. I'm not overcrowding it, and that is one of the issues with students. That brings me to my third point. An old student had recently come to showing me their portfolio as a modeler. The topology was out of this world. That's not something that I can even recommend to someone else, even if I had the opportunity or the network to recommend it to. I hope that makes sense. And the idea is very simple. The topology needs to be clean. And so that got me thinking, why should we limit ourselves to something like this? And the reason that this video exists is because I want to show students that it is entirely possible to use your wits and your skills to create something like this without booleans, without overcomplicating everything. And now I'm just going to give you the one last point, which is going to be really harsh for you to understand, but it is super important. The last point is students need to practice. Students don't practice. It's as simple as that. All the students that I have taught, so the majority of the students that I have taught have been from Indian 3D institutes. I'm just going to say this out there. So 3D institutes don't know what they're doing. As simple as that. Because the students that are coming out with really ultimate garbage topology, they are learning it from YouTube. So might as well just get started with this, and so this video will be a guide for you to on how to practice as well. So now on how to actually get started, let's get started with our reference. Alright, now let's take a look at the reference. I've pressed 1, I'm in the front view, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to enable this, and then I'm going to enable my references. Now with all of these references in front of you, this is just a large reference on the left side of it, so I can just glance over it whenever I feel like it. Now I'm going to say something. Students, if you are genuinely trying to learn how to get better topology for your models, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say the brutal truth. If you are not honest with yourself, like if I'm explaining something and it doesn't make sense, you need to address that issue. You don't need to cower behind it. You don't need to defend yourself. You just need to look at it as a problem and you need to solve it. All right, one of the issues that I see that students have all the time is they don't understand negative space. For example, when we are looking at the red part, okay, the red part is there obviously, but what we need to understand that it is sharing exactly the same shape outlines with the silver part. Now when I say something like this, students all of a sudden go, it makes sense, but give it a little break, give it time to breathe. And the reason that I speak specifically of this is because it is the shape that isn't there that determines what shape is. And in that weird way, what I'm trying to say is, if you are able to determine its silhouette with precise control, you will be able to most likely be able to create all of this without any hesitation. What do I mean by that? So what do I mean by the silhouette of it? Alright, I'm going to hide my reference. If you look at this very carefully, this thing has a very easy shape. It has this curve here, it has this curve here, it has this massive curve here, and this has one curve here and one curve here. If you are able to see that, if you are able to see this curve, this curve, this massive curve, and obviously this curve and this curve and this curve, right? These two, you will be able to make the internal part of the walkie-talkie if you understand these points. Now let's look at the external. What is the outside perimeter of this thing? All right, straight, curve, curve, curve. All right, there's a curve here All right, there's nothing like that, it's just go running parallel. But there was this very special issue where it bends into this, so you need to kind of address that. And then it just goes around curve, curve, curve. And if you look closely, I just want you to pause the video and I want you to answer me this one thing. What degree do you think this is? And guessed right, it is most likely that you can see it's around 45 degrees, right? Because 45 degrees, see, it just cuts very clearly, and you can see that 45-degree cut. All right, and now we're going to come to a part where it is going to be even more obvious. Yes, it is very important to drive this kind of topology home, but it is also very important to understand that it has such massive just plane areas. One, like, look at this plane area. I'm going to take a look at the faces, and now you can see what I mean. This area, this area, this area, this area, this area, it's mostly boring and it's nothing is happening. This area, and being able to determine and being able to see whether you understand these concepts is what is going to allow you to do it. If you are up to the challenge and you want to model this for yourself, this is what you have to do. All right, so this is going to be really easy. How do we determine its outside shape? And this is going to be a hint, and if you are willing to learn this, and this is the way to do it. All right, and once I give this to you, and we've already talked about, these are like, kind of like, these are 90-degree cuts, these are 45-degree cuts, very easy to produce. But how do we get them to line up? All right, it's going to be very easy. We're going to do a shift A, we're going to do a circle. All right, RX90, there we go, and we're gonna make this, do this. And what we are going to do is we are going to take this section of it, do take that away. We are going to just do shift D, and we are going to do this, and we're gonna line them up. Boom, that's how easy it is. But now that you've understood that, I would highly suggest that you go and try this for yourself. Now, you will run into problems because there will be points where you would not like to be able to control how the edge flows. So this was I think this was probably the genius move that I pulled off, and it just goes all the way, so it ends there. So when you try to add here, it does go all the way, but I don't need another one here, hopefully. And if I do, then that is going to be a little bit of a problem, but the whole thing is one piece. Now, how to add finishing touches to it? As you can see, you will find these kind of things, right? I'm going to press double G. I am just going to ease it up, and you will have to do this on your final mesh. And no, I did not use booleans, as you guys saw. By the way, I just want you guys to know that I do support the use of booleans. It's not that I don't, it's just the cleanup after it is sometimes not worth it. And what I mean by that is very simple. I want you to understand that there is a significant amount that you can get done if you are able to look at shapes, and there is no need to go to the other side of making booleans if you don't have to. And sometimes you have to, sometimes you don't, but always remember, good topology is something that you need all the time. All right, so this is one of the things. So it's kind of done, and one of the last things that I would like to add in front of you was going to be this curve. You can see that it curves back. So how are you going to do this? This is going to be fairly easy. I'm going to go in wireframe, I'm going to select this, I'm going to select this, I'm going to go something like this just for now. Why? Because I have not yet determined how much of it needs to go back, because the rest of the body is missing. I hope that makes sense. So I'm not willing to take that decision as of yet, and that is why I have not added a loop cut here, and just went something like this, which would enable me to give this kind of shape to it. But you understand why I haven't done it yet, because the rest of the body is missing. Now, just as a final precaution, I'm just going to look at it in matcap. There we go, wonderful. And this was just an overview, guys, and one thing that I would like to highlight above all, it was getting this topology right. It was not easy, but let's take away the subdivision surface modifier, and we're going to take a look at this in plane topology. So as you can see from afar, I'm going to just shade flat. There we go, we're going to shade this flat, and you can see that this is still holding up its shape. It's quite nice. But one of the things was getting this right, man. This was genuinely quite hard for me as well, but I tried to do it with as less vertices as possible, and it was quite a challenge. And I don't think it is 100% right, but it is also not correct to just keep pushing on a model sometimes, because we like I just know that it will never reach a point where anybody will be able to see this, and this is for a video game. With that being said and done, there is something that I would like to tell you guys. I will be making the rest of the videos for its modeling, which means that the rest of the things that require all of this, that requires these tents, obviously for the requirement of making the textures also, all of this I will be doing as well. So if you guys are willing to follow along and see the journey on which this will be done, please like and subscribe so that we are able to make this come to life. And in the end, I would like to know your feedback. Do you guys like these kind of videos where you talk about the mindset that you need to have so that we're able to tackle these problems properly, or would you like more traditional YouTube style tutorials which would enable you to know where to click and how to do it? But in my opinion, the latter, which is where you just follow along, doesn't really add up, because it just that makes students just to copy something, and it doesn't really give them independence as a modeler. So that is why I don't really push for it. But if you guys would like that as well, you can guys let me know in the comment section, and in the next video I think I'm going to try to combine both how to think about it and how to actually model it. So if you liked it, wonderful. Give 3D QuickBooks a like and a subscribe, and I will see you in class in the next video.